What day of your life did you decide to work until you're 70? You don't remember because there was no day. Nobody signs that contract all at once. Nobody sits down at a table and says, I'm going to work 10 extra years I didn't have to. That's just not how it happens. Here's what actually happens. You, at 68 years old, still setting an alarm, still clocking in, still depending on a paycheck to cover the bills. Tired in a way no weekend fixes anymore. Watching your friends retire, take that trip to Italy while you're still stuck in the same chair, doing the same commute, and asking yourself, alone, in the dark, where did I go wrong? And that answer is going to sting because there won't be one mistake. There'll be 7. Small ones. Quiet ones. The kind you'd never even notice. And odds are you've already made at least 3 of them this week without even realizing it. Remember your last raise? You didn't save a dime of it. You already knew, almost on autopilot, exactly where it was going. A nicer car, a bigger trip, a more comfortable house. You felt like you deserved it after all that grinding, all those years of hustle. And that's the exact moment without noticing. You signed up for another year of work, never realizing you were signing anything at all. Today, I'm going to show you the 7 things quietly buying up the years you had left of freedom. These aren't the obvious purchases. These are the ones that feel smart, feel earned, feel like progress, feel like exactly the right move. And that's precisely why nobody ever warned you about them. If you've ever felt that tightness in your chest thinking, I should be doing so much better financially at this point in my life, this video isn't about people, it's about you. Stick around because halfway through, I'm going to show you the exact moment this starts. And chances are, you're going to recognize that moment with a name and a face attached. Subscribe right now because over the next few weeks, I'm going to lay out one by one the invisible mechanisms quietly pushing back your retirement without your permission, without you ever realizing you signed off on it. And drop this in the comments. When's the last time you bought something thinking it was a reward and looking back now, you realize it was just another year of work in disguise? Let's get into number 1. It's more common than you think. The first thing you need to stop buying after 45 is anything you can only afford in payments that fit your budget. Pay attention to that phrase, because it's wrecked more retirements than any financial crisis out there. It fits the budget. You've said it. I know you have. Everybody has. Here's the problem. That phrase tricks your brain. It makes you believe you're making a smart, responsible decision when really you're just checking if there's enough cash left over this month, never whether it's worth the time of your entire life. Let me show you how this actually plays out. A $60,000 car, financed over 72 months. The payment fits perfectly. You sign, you drive off the lot, you feel good. Proud, even, like you finally made it. But what you just did, without realizing it, was lock up 6 years of your future paycheck. 6 years where you can't cut back your hours. 6 years where you can't take that lower stress, lower paying job, even when your mental health is begging you to. 6 years where I want to change my life simply stopped being an option on the table for you. This was never about the car. It was never really about the car at all. It's about what that monthly payment quietly took from you. Your freedom to decide your own future. And here's what nobody tells you. It fits the budget is the wrong question. The right one is, how many months of my life am I trading for this? A $3,000 couch on a payment plan isn't a couch. It's weeks of your time, handed over in advance, forever, to a store that won't even remember your name. Ever had that weird feeling, weeks after buying something on credit, staring at it and thinking, why do I feel heavier, not happier? That weight has a name. It's called mortgaged freedom. And it doesn't show up on your credit card statement all neat and itemized. It shows up years later when you realize you can't quit a job you hate, when you're stuck with no way out. Starting today, before any new payment plan, ask yourself one question. Not, does the payment fit? But would I pay for this in cash today with money I already have sitting in the bank? If the answer is no, you already know the real answer deep down. And it's better to hear that now than at 68, still paying off something that's already sitting in a junkyard, rusted and long forgotten. The second thing you need to stop buying after 45 is the house that's finally perfect for the rest of your life. You know this phase. It's when you decide this is going to be the last renovation, the definitive one, the dream bathroom, the gourmet kitchen, the master suite you've always wanted, the one that's finally going to make everything look the way you always imagined. And let's be honest, the justification sounds airtight. It's an investment in my own home. But I need to ask you an uncomfortable question. An investment in what, exactly? Because a remodeled kitchen doesn't pay your electric bill, new flooring doesn't buy your freedom at 60, and a jacuzzi tub doesn't magically turn into cash the moment you actually need it, the moment work stops being part of your life for good. Here's what really happens when you pull 40, 60, 80 grand out of your savings or your home equity for that final renovation. You're trading liquid cash, money that could be compounding for the next 20 years, for drywall, flooring, and granite countertops. Things that just sit there. Things that don't work for you while you sleep, while you live your life, while the years keep ticking by. That money, if it had stayed invested, would keep growing quietly every single day, even on the days you're not thinking about money at all. But now it's a renovation, and renovations don't grow. They age, they go out of style, and one day they'll need to be redone all over again. Remember staring at that renovation budget and thinking, it's worth it. I deserve to live well. You do deserve that. But nobody told you the other half of that math. Every dollar that leaves your nest egg to become fixed comfort is a dollar that won't be there when you actually need it to stop working for real. This isn't an anti-renovation video. It's a video about where the money's coming from. If it's extra, after your retirement's already locked in, remodel all you want, guilt-free. If it's coming out of your freedom fund, you're not investing in your house. You're spending your early exit from work, 1 square foot at a time. Before your next big renovation, ask yourself this without lying to yourself. Is this money extra? Or is it coming from what would have gotten me out of work sooner? The answer changes everything. And if you can't answer that with certainty, that's already your answer. The third thing you need to stop doing after 45 is footing the entire bill for your kids' college, gutting your own retirement to do it. I know this is the toughest part of the video because it doesn't feel like a mistake. It feels like love. It feels like being a good parent, someone who did right by their family, someone who sacrificed for the people who matter most. And that's exactly why nobody ever questions this decision. It comes disguised as the most noble thing there is. But let me show you something almost nobody notices. Your kid has 40, 45 years of working life ahead of them to pay off any student debt they take on. They've got time, decades of future paychecks to bounce back if they need to. You don't have that. You've got at most 15, 20 years before you need that money sitting there, compounding, quietly growing to carry you through the rest of your entire life. No do-overs left. There's no catching up later for you. There's no next 40-year work cycle waiting around the corner for you to fall back on. This is the only debt in the family where the timeline is completely flipped. And almost nobody says that out loud because it sounds selfish. It's not. It's just math, and math doesn't have feelings. Every dollar you pull from your retirement contributions right in the prime years of building your nest egg between 45 and 55 to fund 100% of your kids' college is a dollar that stopped compounding during exactly the years it would have grown the most, years that are never coming back. And down the road, when you least expect it, that could mean you, yes, you, having to ask for financial help from the very kid you tried to protect your whole life. This isn't about not helping your kids. It's about getting the order right. First, lock in every single cent of the match your employer offers for retirement. That's free money you already earned and haven't claimed yet, left on the table month after month. Only after that, with what's genuinely left over, decide how much you can safely put toward their education. Real love isn't drowning yourself for the people you love. It's staying on your feet, strong, financially solid, so you never end up being the one who needs supporting later in life when it should be pointing the other way entirely, when you should be the one still standing tall. Stop everything for a second. Take a breath with me, because what I'm about to show you is going to completely change how you hear the rest of this video. Add it all up in your head. The car that fit the budget, the final renovation, the college tuition you paid in full without blinking. Not one of those decisions on its own was a mistake, not one. On the day you made each of them, it made complete sense. It felt like love. It felt like an achievement. It felt like progress. It felt like exactly the right thing to do. And this is exactly where the real problem lives. You're out here looking for the day everything went sideways, looking for the one giant decision, the obvious screw-up, the moment you ruined everything. That day doesn't exist. It never did. And that's precisely why you've never managed to fix this, up until today. There's no villain here. There's a quiet system of small decisions. $200, $400, $800 a month, each one perfectly reasonable on its own, and absolutely devastating once you stack them up over 20 years. You didn't lose your retirement in one swing. You lost it in installments, month after month, choice after choice, made with the best of intentions. And here's the worst part. Every single one of those choices felt in that exact moment like a step forward, a small win, proof that you were doing just fine. Holy hell. How did nobody ever tell you this before? Because nobody profits off showing you this. Stores don't profit off it. Banks don't profit off it. Lenders sure don't profit off it. You're the only one quietly losing bit by bit a piece of freedom with every purchase that felt harmless. The real problem was never the price tag on any of these things. The problem is what each one silently stole from you. Not money, time, freedom, options. Entire years of your own life handed over invisibly, 1 month at a time, to pay for things you can barely even picture in your memory anymore. And if it's true that nobody decides, all at once, to work until they're 70, it's also true that starting today, you can decide all at once to stop buying years of work without realizing it. That decision, that one, can be made right now, in a single second. No need to wait for your next paycheck or the next new year. And that's exactly what the next 3 points are going to teach you to do, one by one. No more stalling. The fourth thing you need to stop buying after 45 is your seat at the table. This has nothing to do with a fancy car or a designer bag. It's way more subtle than that. And that's exactly what makes it more dangerous. It's the group trip you say yes to because everyone's going. It's the pricey dinner you agree to because turning it down would feel awkward. It's the gift you give at the same price as everyone else's, even when you don't have that kind of money to spare. You probably never called it social comparison. You called it staying close with your friends, not losing touch. But here's the thing. The friends you're using as your yardstick for how much to spend are, more often than not, just as financially shaky as you are, maybe even more so, drowning quietly behind closed doors. Nobody admits that in the group, though. Everyone acts like they're fine, and everyone's spending is calibrated to everyone else's hidden insecurity, a quiet race where nobody wants to be the first one to tell the truth. Ever had that moment where you agree to something expensive, smiling, saying, "Yeah, of course, count me in," while your stomach's in knots thinking about the credit card bill? Ever wanted to say no and just couldn't because you were scared of being the one who can't afford it? That fear comes with a steep price tag, and it gets charged year after year in dinners, in trips, in gifts, in rounds you never even wanted to buy but paid for anyway, just so you wouldn't stand out. It's not vanity. It's fear of missing out, fear of being left behind. And that fear is way harder to spot in yourself than vanity ever was, because it disguises itself as friendship, as loyalty, as generosity. Before any recurring social spend, ask yourself this out loud if you have to. Would I do this if my friends had no idea? If the answer's no, you're not buying an experience. You're buying approval. And approval, my friend, has never once shown up on your bank statement at 65. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop it in the comments. Which of these 5 points has hit closest to home so far? Which one did you recognize in your own life, whether you wanted to or not? Write it honestly, no shame, because I promise you're not alone in this. And if this video's already got you thinking differently, hit that like button right now. It helps a lot more people your age find this video too. The 5th thing you need to rethink after 45 is exactly how you've been buying back your own time. Delivery, subscription services, convenience apps, $15 here, 40 there. One more subscription, then another, each one feeling too small to even question, too trivial to cancel. On their own, they seem harmless. Add them up and they turn into hundreds of dollars a month, quietly draining your account every single month. And the justification's always the same, and it even sounds wise. Time is worth more than money. And it is. The problem isn't the phrase itself. It's what you actually do with the time you bought back. Pay attention to this because it's a cycle you've probably been living for years without ever realizing it's a cycle. You work too much, you burn out, you pay to buy back a little time so you don't have to cook, don't have to deal with that annoying task at the end of a long day. And that time you just bought back, where does it go? More often than not, straight back into work. One more email after dinner, one more meeting that ate into your evening, one more task that will only take 5 minutes and somehow swallows your whole night. You bought time and then used that time to work more and to keep paying for the conveniences that prop up this unsustainable pace. You need to keep working at the same level, or harder still. It's a closed loop, feeding on itself, and it looks like productivity, but it's really just financed exhaustion month after month, with no end in sight, no finish line waiting for you. This isn't an anti-convenience video. It's about what you do afterward. Buying time only makes sense if you actually live the time you bought, if it turns into real rest, time with the people you love, purposeful quiet. If not, you're not buying freedom. You're financing your own burnout month after month with hidden interests nobody ever shows you on the bill. Pick one single convenience you're paying for right now, just one. And the next time, it frees up some time for you. Use it to check on your investments, negotiate a debt down, or just genuinely rest, guilt-free, no laptop in sight. Not to open another work tab, another email, another task disguised as urgent. That one small shift on its own already changes the direction of everything that comes after. And we've made it to the seventh and final thing you need to stop buying after 45. And honestly, this one's the most dangerous of them all. The purchase made in the middle of pain. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That stretch after a loss, a total burnout, a birthday that hit harder than the others. And right there, in the middle of the pain, that thought creeps in. I've been through so much, I deserve this. So you buy a trip, a car, a renovation, something big, something that's supposed to make you feel better. Pay attention here. Your brain, in a moment of pain, isn't looking for what's best for your life. It's looking for immediate relief. It's the exact same neurological mechanism behind any impulsive decision. And what feels like a win is actually a painkiller dressed up as a reward. The pain you were feeling, it passes in weeks, sometimes months. But the payment on that purchase made at the peak of your pain, that stays for years, charging you every single month. A reminder of a moment you just wanted to forget. You're not rewarding yourself when you buy like that. You're numbing yourself. And numbing never fixes the root cause. It just kicks it down the road with interest attached. This doesn't mean never treat yourself. It means putting some space between the pain and the decision. The rule is simple. Any purchase over $500 made within the first 4 weeks after a major emotional event, wait. If you still want it after that, with a clear head, go for it. But most of the time, you'll realize it wasn't what you actually needed. Nothing I've told you today was about saving money. It was about you not trading, without realizing it, your own years, for things that were never worth as much as they seemed to be in the exact moment you bought them. You haven't lost your retirement yet, but starting now, every purchase can be a conscious choice, not another automatic reflex. You don't need to earn more money to change your story. First, you need to stop buying. Month after month, the very years of work you still had coming to you. And if you want to understand exactly the moment this quiet cycle starts for most people and how to break it before it's too late, that video popping up on your screen right now breaks it down with details almost nobody talks about. Because the difference between working until 70 and stopping at 60 was never about how much you earn. It was always about what you decide today to stop buying.